morning, and thank you for your prayers last week when the Colombians in Fiji, New Zealand and Australia met for 3 days of serious reflection on what do we understand by Columban mission within Oceania. It was a great week, most enjoyable, quite a few insights, and hopefully it was helpful too. If we go back a little bit, you might well remember how Jesus, long before the Last Supper, decided that his hour had come. It was time for him to confront the evil, the hypocrisy and the enslavement and so on in Jerusalem. So he returned from the other side of the Jordan and he entered the city on a donkey. And he accepted the applause of the crowds, the pilgrims and the children as a confrontation with the civil authorities. This was the kingdom that Jesus was proposing, was inaugurating and representing. But also then he went into the temple and he reclaimed that sacred space. He threw out from the temple what we might call the Wall Street of the Jewish authorities. And he said, "My Father's house is a house of prayer. You've made it into a den of thieves." And that was about 4 days before the Last Supper. And those nights, of course, he stayed in Bethany for safety's sake, because he knew the authorities were out to get him. But when he was in the temple, they were afraid because of the crowd, who were in favour of Jesus, listening to his word and learning from him. And then we come to the Last Supper. And today's text is from the Last Supper. And it's after Jesus had thrown down the gauntlet to the authorities, civil and religious. And he knew that the time was coming. And Jesus gives a long discourse to the disciples. And the first part of it finishes at the end of chapter 14, when he says, "Come now, let us go." But then the text continues with 3 more chapters, 2 of discourse, of teachings, and 1 of prayer. And it begins with, "I am the vine, you are the branches. My Father is the vine dresser, and he cuts off those who don't produce fruit, and he prunes those that do, so they might produce even more. But you are pruned already by the words I have given you. So make your home in me, as I make mine in you." This magnificent expression of intimacy, of oneness, of sharing that Jesus offers to the disciples in this very critical moment. They're still in the upper room, just after the Last Supper. And I imagine Jesus has stood up and is pacing up and down and looking at the disciples and sharing this beautiful expression of solidarity, of intimacy, of support, of strength. And saying, "I am the true vine." In other words, life comes from me. You are the branches, so you produce the fruit. And our Father is the vine dresser. He is the master of all. God is in charge. God is in control of all. And we function under him. And he cuts off those who don't produce fruit. But he also prunes those who do, so that we might produce more. And pruning, as we know for a branch, is not necessarily a pleasant experience, but it cleanses and gives life. And a lovely example a friend of mine quoted the other day, he said, in all honesty, he said, every day I need one humiliation or failure or embarrassment to keep me sane. And I thought, what a beautiful sentiment, that we need pruning to be sane, to produce fruit. And then Jesus goes on to say, you are already pruned by the word I have spoken to you. So the word, the gospel, the good news, the truth, the love of God is a pruning hook. It can pull us up at times. It can make us uncomfortable, but it can also cleanse us, enable us, and guide us. And then finally Jesus says, make your home in me as I make mine in you. And I like to translate that as, be at home in me as I am at home in you. And I think that's just so rich, that here is Jesus heading for the ultimate trial. But he's saying to his disciples, be at home in me. Be comfortable with me. Be at peace with me or in me, as I am in you. The mutuality, it is so beautiful there. And that's the sentiment I want to leave you with today. Jesus saying to us, be at home in me as I am at home in you. All right? Again, thank you for your prayers, and hopefully they will bear fruit in abundance. God bless. See you next week.